Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and good morning. Yeah, I have not been very active on the channel for a while, basically because I have a friend visiting and taking him around Toronto to give him a look at what's happening out here. And the heat wave doesn't help either. But I promise to be more active starting Thursday because he's leaving on Wednesday. So, good morning and welcome back to the pre market live stream. Let's take a quick look at the forces reshaping today's session. So overnight, markets were breathing a sigh of relief as a ceasefire between Iran and Israel is now in effect following days of escalating tension and US military involvement, or at least that's what I think is happening right now. I don't know if we are going to hear that they're lobbing missiles at each other or something went wrong, some misunderstanding. So that's always a possibility, but right now it's calm. And oil prices, which had surged on fears of Middle East supply disruption, have dropped sharply down about 4% yesterday, while equities are seeing a modest rebound. As you can see out here, S&P futures is up 0.75% and NASDAQ futures is up 1.03%. This is on top of the gains that they had yesterday. However, don't get too comfortable just yet. That's what I would say. While the ceasefire has calmed nerves for now, there are some experts who are warning that the agreement is fragile and any renewed hostilities could quickly reverse market gains. And geopolitical risk remains a key factor for investors, especially retail investors like us. And meanwhile, central banks are making headlines. I saw a report on Reuters talking about a major shift in strategy for central banks actively diversifying away from the US dollar. Nearly a third of central banks managing $5 trillion in reserve plan to boost their gold holdings in the next year or so, and the dollar's share of global reserves is under pressure as concerns over US political risk and trade protectionism grows. The euro and the Chinese yuan are expected to gain ground, while the yuan potentially might triple its share of global reserves over the next decade. Despite today's dip in gold, it remains a favored asset for long-term safety. And let us not forget that gold is very close to its all-time high at this point of time. On the home front, all eyes are on the Federal Reserve. Chair Powell's cautious stance has markets pricing in only a slim chance of a rate cut at the next meeting, but any shift in tone could move the markets very quickly. And with global trade tensions still simmering, central banks are flagging tariffs and protectionism as top risks. So in summary, I would say that the ceasefire has eased immediate tensions, but geopolitical risks still remain. Central banks are shifting towards gold, the euro, and the yuan, while the Fed's policy and global trade dynamics continue to drive market sentiment. Stay alert as we move into today's technical analysis. Volatility is still in play, and I'm going to move across to a single chart view, and let us start off with S&P 500. I'm going to move to a one-day view so that we can say where we are. So we have converted a resistance, which was a diagonal line of resistance from before, and that has now become a support, and we are dangerously close to the long-term diagonal line. And that has a potential of taking us very close to a turnaround where we may start coming back down. So I'm thinking that all the warning signs are out here. It could be the calm before the storm. Valuations are very stretched, and we still have our bearish divergence. Bearish divergence always gives indication that something is wrong in the interior works, and we should pay heed to that. I'm personally very bearish, and I'm not trading because I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know whether the war is on or off, whether there is a permanent settlement. I don't know much, and there are so many moving pieces. So I've decided that I'm not doing anything. I'll just stand on the sidelines, accept my ignorance, and just watch what happens in the market. And that's the spirit with which I'm looking at today's stocks. My gut feel tells me that the market is irrationally exuberant, and it's not worth being so optimistic at this point of time. However, when I look at the chart, look at this, it's so strong, it's moving upwards, and it's almost ready to break through this long-term diagonal line of resistance. And if it does that, it could linger above that for maybe 2 or 3 months before it comes down. And at this juncture, I'm very afraid to get in because it could drop anytime. So I'll stay apart. But if you go purely by the sentiment, I think the sentiment continues to be bullish. You can see that sentiment is picking up out here. And the fundamentals out there are dubious at best because we don't know what the tariff impact is. We have not seen it yet on our economic data. And when it comes in, especially if it comes in as drop in employment, then that could spur the Fed into action. So I'm careful. Same is the story with the NASDAQ as well. It is going to all-time highs. It is moving up further. And we have a target out here, which I had not believing it too much, but still it was technical. So I put a target of 25,894, which is very high. It's a 3,000 point jump from where we are. Very improbable, but that's what the chart showed me, and that's what I put there. Maybe we are hurtling towards that. I don't know. But I'm afraid to ignore what is happening out here in terms of geopolitical issues as well as domestic issues. So I'm being very careful. Dollar index shows that it has continued to fall, and we still have a lot of support. The support is a long way to go, 97.241. Right now we are at 98. And our 10-year yields have dropped a little. And so has 20 years has gone up by 0.16 and 30 years has gone up by 0.27. Now, let's go on and have a look at the indicators where we left them and mark some key levels for today. I think for us today, the resistance is going to be at around 6016.20. Let's quickly look at where S&P 500 futures is. It's at 6123. So 6123 is where the futures are. And I was saying that we are going to have a resistance here. So I think that most probably this diagonal line of resistance is likely to be converted into a support. And therefore, I think our resistance for today is going to be somewhere around 6,090.73. And our support is going to be at 6,016.20. Right now, we are at 6,025.16. If any catalyst, negative catalyst happens during the day, then we'll be testing more supports. If positive catalysts happen, we'll be testing more resistances. NASDAQ, if we look at NASDAQ, it's at 21,856, which is where we left it last time. And right now it is at 22,301. So 22,301 happens to be above this line of resistance, which is 22,225. So this line of resistance now becomes a support after overnight action. And this diagonal line of resistance also becomes a support. And for today, I think we are looking at 22,233.36 as the support for the day. And we may continue to move upwards based on what we see in the futures. Now let's look at VIX. VIX is down 8.58%, which also indicates that the markets are going to be buoyant today as volatility drops. And gold also has dropped 1.39%. But as I said, we are at an all-time high for gold, and it's range bound out here, maybe consolidating energy before moving up or down. We'll have to wait and see which direction it goes to, but it is still in a bullish channel. And I wouldn't bet against gold at this point of time. So that said, if you look at QQQ, it's up 1.07% in pre-market trades. And I'm going to go into AI. Let's start off with NVDA. NVDA is looking pretty good. It's up 0.94% today after having dropped yesterday. And we still have the bearish divergence that we should continue to pay attention to. And at the same time, we have a cup and handle target, which takes us all the way up to 162.25. Which one will prevail? So we'll watch, but there are contradictory signals out here. And if you look at Meta, it's up 0.91% today. In pre-market trades, it's at 704.87. And the support is going to be at 655.89, which is this green line out here. And the resistance is going to be this diagonal line of resistance at 720.91. And if we were to look at Google, Google is up 1.40%, gathering some more value after 3 continuous days of drops. Support continues to be 164.59, resistance is 169.11. Right now, pre-market it's at 168.34. Look at Amazon. Amazon is up 1.67%, and support continues to be the 21-day exponential moving average, which is at 209.22. Right now, we are at 211.96, which is just slightly above the 9-day exponential, which is sitting at 211.56. So I would say that both the 9-day and the 21-day exponential form the support all the way from 209.22 to 211.56. And the resistance is going to be this line of resistance, which is a horizontal line of resistance at 215.68. As you can see, MACD is bearish and momentum is just at average, and the bullish sentiment is waning slowly. Apple again is up 1.05% in pre-market trades, and we have support at 198.64. And our resistance for today is going to be 205.32, which is this dynamic line of resistance. So it's gone up for today. And our momentum is still at average. MACD is bullish and my sentiment is also bullish. Microsoft is up 0.56%, again testing the diagonal line of resistance. And today the resistance is turning into support because pre-market we are already above 487.54. We are right now at 488.79. Therefore, this diagonal line of resistance is going to become a line of support for today. Then we look at Tesla. There's very positive news about robotaxi, and Dan Ives has said that he himself took a ride in robotaxi and he was very impressed and it was beyond his expectations. So that's going to push the sentiment for Tesla. And I have to liquidate my TSLQ before it kills me. So that's the first order of business for me today. And with that said, let's look at Oracle. Oracle is up 0.99% in pre-market trades. 9-day exponential at 200.51 is going to be the support for today. And the resistance is going to be 215.32. AMD is up 2.64% in pre-market trades. Our resistance at 131.01 now becomes a support. And our resistance for today is going to be somewhere in the region of 138.54. That's where I expect the resistance to be. Next, we have SMCI, which is up 2.32% in pre-market trades. Our resistance will be 42.80 for today, which is this red line out here. And right now we are at 41.84. Therefore, our support is going to be 39.17 for today. We also have a resistance, which is the 21-day exponential at 42.13. So plenty of resistance on the upside, spaced close to each other. So it's going to be difficult for SMCI to gain today. Broadcom is up 2.93% in pre-market trades. Support continues to be 250.42. And then we have Palantir. Palantir is up 1.10%. Very, very strong stock. We are forming a bull flag out here, and it's likely to rip further because RSI still has plenty of room. MACD is bullish. Sentiment also is mildly bullish. So today seems to be a day for Palantir. SMH is up 1.64%, and it's taking the support of the 9-day exponential moving average, and it's going to find resistance today at around 268.52, which is our diagonal line of resistance. I'm still watching the bearish divergence and the declining bullish sentiment, but nothing major has happened yet. Tempus AI is up 2.44% in pre-market trades. Resistance continues to be the minor line of resistance at 68.18. Right now we are at 67.25, and the support is the 9-day exponential, which is sitting at 65.52. Sorry, the 21-day exponential, which is sitting at 65.52. So that's what I have here, my friends. And I'm going to look at AV, which is another stock that I have been following very closely. And it is looking pretty decent this morning with a gain of 1.71%. And it's above the line of support. It had this reverse head and shoulders, but I didn't have the courage to go ahead and buy. I took profits on AV. I don't have any of them right now, and I'm afraid to buy anymore. So I'm literally paralyzed by fear. I'm not doing anything at all. Then we look at Rigetti, which is again another loss-making position of mine. It is going hurtling towards the support out here. But fortunately, this morning it's up 4.08%. But the 9-day and the 21-day exponential at 11.42 and 11.57 are going to be resistances for today. And the support is going to be 9.84. So that's it, my friends. That's what I have here. And if we were to look at genomics, let's go and have a quick look at genomics. It's likely to be positive today because the entire market sentiment is positive. So Prime is up 4.17% for the day. Intelia is up 2.28% already in pre-market trading. And we have Caribou Biosciences with no trades in pre-market session. We have Beam, which is up 0.84% in pre-market trades. Altimmune is up 2.58% in pre-market trade. Verve is down 0.09%. Of course, there is a huge gap up. So there's likely to be consolidation, profit taking, and all those things. So that's what I think is happening right now. Editas is up 0.48% in pre-market trades. Illumina is up 0.79% in pre-market trades, staying above this huge area of support. It's all moving in the right direction. It's in a bullish channel, gradually moving, inching up, building up very slowly and carefully. So very stable stock. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 2.09%. That takes it above this horizontal line of resistance of 46.31. Right now, we are at 46.50. So I'm going to mark this green for the day, and we'll revisit this when we check it out in the evening or maybe tomorrow morning and see whether we manage to stay above that and we manage to close above that. We have to close above that line in order for us to validate it. And let's look at Allogene, which is down 0.82% in pre-market trades. Grail is up 1.65% in pre-market trades. For today, the support is going to be 43.46. Right now, we're at 43.78. PSCB up 1.68%, inching away from being a penny stock. And we have the 9-day exponential at 1.17, performing the role of a support. Sorry, we have the 21-day exponential at 1.17, forming the role of a support, which is this yellow line that you see here. And the 9-day exponential at 1.23, performing the role of a resistance. So between the two of them lies the range for PSCB today, in my opinion. ARCG is up 1.70% in pre-market trades, and the support continues to be the 9-day exponential at 23.62. Vertex is up 0.13% today, despite a whole lot of publicity about positive data from its type 1 diabetes therapy in Vancouver, in Canada. I think Vertex has not been able to capitalize much on it. The price has not gone up much. But I would say that that particular therapy needs continuous use of immunosuppressants. So I wouldn't be too worried for CRISPR Therapeutics' CTX211. So I think CRISPR is still in the game. Ginkgo Bioworks is flat in pre-market trades. Unicure is up 2.80% in pre-market trades. And IMTX is down 3.39% as of yesterday. But this morning, we do not have any pre-market trades as of yet. And our support at 5.32 continues to be the support for today. And our resistance is going to be the 21 exponential at 5.66. So friends, that kind of brings me to an end of this video. And I'll catch up with you all again tomorrow. Bye for now.